I think today I'm going to go ahead and mount the handbrake. I don't know if I'll get around to routing the lines or anything like that, but let's at least get the handbrake in the car. That way we have our positioning and all that stuff ready so I can get the seat mounted up soon. So yesterday I did some wiring on the car. I got some gauges installed up here, the wideband, started routing all the electrical for everything. I wired an alarm into the car, keyless entry, all that stuff, just because, you know, who doesn't like having keyless entry? It's got power locks, might as well add it. And now it's time to mount the handbrake here. So what I did so far is basically ground this edge down here where the bracket's going to get welded on, just across here, and cut out a little stand for the handbrake to kind of raise it up a little bit. And it's going to sit just right around there somewhere. And yeah, we're just going to weld that onto the chassis like that. And you can see right there where it's got the bolt holes for it, holding it down onto the bracket, rib nutted into this, so that way it's easy to remove if I need to. And now basically all we got to do is go ahead and kind of fit it up and weld that bracket on. Well, I do apologize if the camera falls over and I don't catch it, because this is a pretty awkward way to weld here. And there it goes. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to weld this. This is not gonna stay. Well, after fighting with it for a little bit, I was able to get it welded. Welded it on across the top, put a couple stitches up on the bottom too to give it a little bit more rigidity. And then I went ahead and laid a little bit of seam sealer on the weld. Not because it needed seam sealer or anything like that, but because this metal was so nasty that the welds kind of looked like dog shit. So, yeah, if I had a MIG, I could have just spot welded it together, and probably would have turned out all right. But all I had is my TIG welder, and TIG welding on old shitty chassis metal is never fun. But anyways, now that that's in place, and this handle needs to be tightened a bit, but should work pretty well. Now I need to trim this so I can fit it back on there. And after some measuring and stuff, it looks like that's the section I'm going to need to cut out, starting on the outside of the blue tape line. Basically going to cut it up here, over, across, down, and then cut this portion out right there. It's gonna be a little bit more flimsy, but I'll still be able to at least bolt it on here, here, this side, the uppers. So it should be all right. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get that cut out now. And there we go, it's sectioned out. Now let's see if it fits. So those line right up perfect. That'll sit back flush on there. Shifter. So I left a little bit extra room right there, it looks like. I mean, that's not bad for eyeballing it. I mean, this is kind of looks not great, obviously, but it clears. And we went ahead and put the panel on here, so it does interfere a little bit right there, but I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's barely touching it. And then right here, it's kind of wedging up in there, so I might actually just take a razor blade and just slit that right there, and that'll let it kind of drop down. There we go. Slit it with a razor blade so it just folds right over that. I mean, this does look open and empty and kind of weird. And I got some seam sealer on that too, but other than that, it actually doesn't fit terribly. I'll have this big open hole right here where the factory ashtray used to go. So maybe I'll mount like my SAFC right here or something like that. And then, you know, I'm getting a radio for it and all that stuff too. But it's not bad. It's in a really good spot. A little further forward than I'm comfortable with, but seeing the clearance between the seat here, it really doesn't give us much room. Now, when I was test fitting it, one thing I did have to make sure was I have clearance between the seat here. So when I move the seat up, it actually fits in between the seat, and the lines are just going to loop up and then go straight forward underneath the radio. So yeah, that's going to be it on that, but I'll show you guys the other thing I did today and yesterday, the keyless entry. The alarm's on right now. Keyless entry. So that's nice. Find the key to this thing. And then I got the gauges all installed. So we got wideband. This needs to be adhesive down. Boost gauge, oil pressure, coolant temp, all in real nice, easy spots to see. But anyways, that's going to be it for this short little video on just mounting the handbrake up and doing a little bit of progress on the car. So I'm hopefully getting the engine in today. If I had an engine hoist that could, you know, work properly, that wasn't too small, I would have put it in last week, but it is what it is. But that's going to be it for this one. So like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, follow the builds along, and I will catch you guys later.